going on, beautiful people? I am the Grandmaster, but I also go by D-Ray, and today is a great, fun, exciting day. Today, we are announcing that we have been invited to the NCP, the National Competitive Pokemon Home, that is owned and commissioned by none other than the beautiful John Jr. Thank you so much, my brother, for inviting us this season. It is going to be hot competition, trust me. Once you guys see these slides and see the coaches that are participating, then it is going to be a good time. But we're here to compete. We're here to have a good time. I think we're gonna do pretty good this season. If I do say so myself, I think we have the team to do it. Before we get into the team, I would love the opportunity to introduce to you guys the brand new franchise to the Grandmaster's table. Don't worry. The San Diego Snugglers are still around, but we just added another franchise to kind of juice things up a little bit, to change things up, to make it a little spicy, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to represent the second big city that is down here with us in Southern California. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to the Los Angeles Guerrilla Tactics. Look at this beautiful logo. Look at this thing. It's Galarian Darmanitan. It's just phenomenal. It's just... In my opinion, we have the two best Draft League logos on the platform, by far. That could be a little bit biased, obviously, but look at them. Come on now. Beautiful. Anyway, the LA Guerrilla Tactics is who we're going to be representing for this season of the NCP. And if you guys are new here, before I forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button, so you guys get notified every single time I post a new video. And while you're at it, if you're going to support us and the LA Guerrilla Tactics this season, icicle crash that thumbs up button. Alright, with all that out the way, let's get the housekeeping stuff done. This season is going to be no Dynamax, no Gigantamax, so we're going to go straight to Classic Battling, which I'm very excited about, personally. We are on the 7th pick in the draft, which is a pretty decent pick. It's not in the middle, it's almost in the middle, but it's not horrible, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have a draft plan, to be honest with you, because of the position that we're in. I just thought, let's just take the most broken thing that we can find and then just roll with that. So that's what we did. This draft league is going to be post-home movesets, all the Pokemon that come after the Pokemon Home cloud service, all that we have access to for the season. And the first mon that we take is because of the access to home. So I do like to give a shout out to John Jr. for these beautiful slides, because once you see these things, you're going to be in awe, trust me. But anyway, let's get right on into it, guys. Let's just make this a quick video, just run right through it and get right to battling, you know what I'm saying? So with the very first pick for the LA Guerrilla Tactics, 7th overall, we're going to select Melmetal. Are you kidding me, bro? Melmetal fell to us at number 7. That is incredible. Are you kidding me? This thing is a pure steel type, the new toy of the generation. Well, it came in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but now that Pokemon Home is out, it's technically a new toy, you know what I'm saying? Gets Iron Fist, which is going to boost its signature move, Double Iron Bash. Most likely, I'm probably just going to put a Choice Band or a Life Orb on this thing, come in and click buttons. This thing is just going to destroy stuff. Double Iron Bash does a massive amount of damage, even to resisted hits. This thing is going to be phenomenal this season. It gets access to Thunder Punch and Ice Punch just to take advantage of that Iron Fist ability. It's a big boy, so it gets access to Earthquake, Darkest Lariat, in case you want to decide to try to boost your defenses. Nah, not today. Melmetal doesn't give 2 Fs. So, very excited to have this thing on the team. This is here to basically come in, take a kill, take a soul, and get the heck up out of there. So I'm very excited to be building around this team. Not only is it phenomenal, it's a beautiful design. Look at this thing. It's a man made of metal. The nickname for Melmetal is going to be D's Nuts, because you know Grandmaster D, Ray, D's Nuts, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a good time. So happy to have this on the team. So for the second round, this isn't a tier-based league, it's a point-based league. So for the second round, we decided to pick up Haxorus. Let's just throw another wall breaker on there while we're at it, why don't ya? So we have a very hard-hitting dragon type for our second part of our Dragon Fairy Steel Core, the Fantasy Core. Haxorus is a Fiend, they got a bunch of new toys this generation. You got access to close combat. You got access to first impression, which is a very interesting priority move depending on the different matchups. Even if it's resisted, it still does a lot of damage. And being able to dragon dance with this thing is going to be phenomenal. It's a great sweeper, great wall breaker. It gets access to mold breaker, so if you think that you're safe from earthquakes, levitators out there talking to you, Rotom, then you're not. Mold breaker is going to go through that. If you have something that maybe like for, let's just say, if I want to set up or do some kind of shenanigans on a magic bounce Pokemon, I could do that. It doesn't get rocks. That'd be cool. That'd be broken if it got rocks. But anyway, it's just there to ignore abilities. It also gets access to a nerve. So maybe if it's up against another dragon type Pokemon and he decides to pack Haban Berry, you can't eat that berry. You're about to get knocked out, boy. So Haxorus is going to be phenomenal this season. It's our second wall breaker, part 2 of our fantasy core. So super excited to have this on the squad. With round number 3, the LA Guerrilla Tactics decided to pick up Mantine. So the reason why we picked this up early is because, spoilers, actually I picked up something different and I made a transaction for this. So this is the final Pokemon on the team, so I'll just talk about this. But the reason why we wanted Mantine is for 2 specific reasons, right? Well, 3 actually. Reason number 1, it's a flying water type, which means that it is immune to ground types. That really does help meld metal. It's a flying type that basically resists fighting type moves, and a water type that resists fire type moves. It's also a great defogger, so you can get rid of hazards. Throw some heavy duty boots on this thing. It doesn't care about your hazards and it gets rid of them. It's a very bulky Pokemon, does get access to Roost for longevity, can scald stuff, and part 3 of my 3 reasons, this thing gets water absorb. I no longer have to worry about offensive water types. I'm going to switch in Mantine and really take those Pokemon and kind of shut them down, really, is what it's going to do. So water absorb is pretty essential on specific builds, and I was able to pick one up early for a pretty decent value. That way I can use my points for other stuff. But like I said, I did use this pick on something different, but I traded it for Mantine. But nonetheless, I got the Mantine to get extra points to fill out the draft moving forward. So with the next pick, the LA Guerrilla Tactics decide to pick up Darmanitan. Darmanitan, the OG fire Darmanitan. Unfortunately, Galarian Darmanitan is banned. We weren't allowed to get access to it this season. We wouldn't have gotten it anyway at 7, but regardless, we got the next best thing. Mini Guerrilla Tactics question mark. Oh my god, I didn't go through them all. Haxorus' nickname is going to be Red Eyes, like Red Eyes Black Dragon. Shout out to Joey. Mantine is going to be Ray, very classic, but spelled R-E-Y for D-Ray. And then Darmanitan here is going to be Guerrilla Tactics question mark. So very excited to have this thing. This thing is another amazing wall breaker. Very offensive fire type, gets access to sheer force paired up with flare blitz. This thing hits like an absolute truck. I believe it's a 140 base attack power. Luckily, funny enough, this thing got access to trick this gen, so trick in a choice band could be something fun that I do this season. But this is going to be here to basically take a kill and get out, bop something, nuke something, get the hell up out of there. Gets access to U-turn, so it's a great pivot option to start a possible Volt turn core. Gets access to sheer force boosted rock slide, gets access to superpower in case that would come in handy. But Darmanitan is another way for us to break holes. So we do have part 1, part 2 our fantasy core, part 1, part 2 of our elemental core. So we're gonna fill up the rest of those cores a little bit later with the draft. But Darmanitan Guerrilla Tactics, welcome to the squad, my brother. Smile on him. The next mon that we have to the team, the LA Guerrilla Tactics, decide to pick up Alolan Raichu. Alolan Raichu is not only one of the best aesthetically built Pokemon in history, it's also a threat. Guys, this thing gets access to Surf now. Previously, Raichu, only the Cantonian Raichu had access to it, but now this generation they made it standard on both Cantonian Raichu and regular Raichu. So we're gonna bring Alolan Raichu in from Generation 7 via the home cloud service. This thing gets incredible coverage. Stab Psychic, stab Psyshock. Electric type coverage, obviously Thunderbolt, Thunder, Thunder Wave, things of that nature. It gets access to Surf, like I mentioned. It gets access to Grass Knot if I want to run that. It gets access to Focus Blast, sorry. You can Volt Switch in and out. There's our Volt Turn core that is now complete with Darmanitan and Raichu. This thing is a great speed tier, a base 110. The speed tiers were kind of iffy before I picked this thing up. Melmetal is dirt slow, I think it's base 35. Haxorus is at a beautiful 97. Mantine is at 70, which is pretty sneaky for a bulky Pokemon. Darmanitan is at 95, which is sitting right there at the cusp of some common stuff this generation. And Raichu at 110, which is phenomenal. Our speed tiers are starting to look pretty good. I believe this actually may be the fastest Pokemon that we drafted. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. We fixed things a little bit later. But Raichu, great electric type Pokemon, very essential to have a fast electric type Pokemon. If your opponent does not have a ground type, you can just freely Volt Switch and just wreak havoc. So very happy that Raichu's on the team. And with the next pick, the LA Guerrilla Tactics decide to pick up Dusclops. Now, mind you, I did pick up a different Pokemon, not Dusclops, during the actual draft, but then when it was over, I made some transactions, and now Dusclops is on the team. This thing's going to be named Illuminati. Some weeks it'll be named All Hands. You know what I'm saying? Because he's all hands, baby. This thing is a fat ghost type. With Eviolite, this thing is so bulky. It's a very mediocre HP stat, but I believe it's base 130 in both defenses. I may be wrong, but it's very bulky, both on the Spadef and on the Fizdef side. It gets pressure and it gets access to Frisk, which is an amazing ability in Draft League. Being able to get intel on your opponent's item is priceless in my opinion. And because this thing is incredibly bulky, it is able to take advantage of pressure, unlike Weavile. Shout out to Weavile getting pressure. But this thing can for sure take advantage of being pressured out on their opponents. That way they can PP stall all of their moves. It gets access to Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Nightshade to get that neutral damage every single time. That fixed damage, I should say. It gets access to Shadow Ball for stab if I want to run that. But this thing is going to be here to basically be a wall and to just burn stuff and just sit and never die. A Rest Talk set is very viable. There's a couple different options to keep the longevity of Dusclops, so I'm very excited to have this thing on the team. Next mon that we decided to pick up, the LA Guerrilla Tactics Select, Pangoro. Again, this is another mon that I ended up picking up, but I traded this Pokemon from Sir Jorge D. Great. Thank you, shout out my man, coach of the San Ant Eggies. So it's going to be phenomenal to have a really good dark type this season. It's a dark fighting type, a very hard hitting wall breaker Pokemon. Gets access to Iron Fist just like Melmetal. Gets access to Scrappy so I don't get intimidated, and I'm able to use my fighting type coverage on ghost type Pokemon, which could be clutch, as well as normal type moves. That also works too in case I want to run like Facade or something like that. That could be something clutch that we do. Gets access to the elemental punches. Gets access to bullet punch. That could be pretty clutch for priority. A really heavy knockoff user. Knockoff is one of the best moves in the game, right up there with Scald and Strength Sap in my opinion. But knockoff is going to be a very good spam move for us. Having a dark type is essential, so that way Pokemon like Reuniclus can't just destroy you. Psychic types don't have a heyday, so this is our dark type this season. Very excited to have Pangoro. Pangoro's nickname is going to be Roman after my son because he loves pandas. He loves animals, so most likely if you see an animal, it's most likely going to be named after him. But shout out to baby boy Roman for kicking ass this season. Next mon on the squad, we have Serena. Serena again was another Pokemon that was made a transaction after because of what was available after the coaches made their transaction. So before, Pokemon doesn't matter. Now we have Serena. Serena, Lady Thickums here. Probably gonna name it Summer after my wife because my wife thick. Summer is going to be a phenomenal Pokemon for us because it's going to complete our elemental core. Now we have our water and Mantine, fire and Darmanitan, and our grass in Serena. It's a phenomenal rapid spinner, so I can get rid of those hazards. I didn't have a very good regard for hazard removal aside of Mantine, although it is a pretty good hazard remover in my opinion. It's good to have a rapid spinner, that way you can keep your hazards on your side of the field instead of getting rid of all the hazards in general. So Serena is going to be phenomenal this season. It's a very offensive Pokemon as well. It's pretty bulky at the same time. It has 120 base attack, so it gets access to Stab, Power Whip, it gets access to High Jump Kick, it gets access to Knockoff, U-Turn for pivot options, which is awesome. I could take advantage of this thing offensively by running Rapid Spin, getting that +1 speed boost, and just thrashing Pokemon. Its signature move, Chop Kick, reduces attack power by 1 stage, which could be something that we could run on a bulky set. For sure. It does get access to aromatherapy, so it's a cleric option, and it gets access to synthesis for longevity. So overall, Serena is a phenomenal grass type Pokemon. Very excited for it to be on the team and to support the team. Very important. Very, very important. Gotta have the support pieces, you know? So the next mon on the squad we decided to pick up is Clefairy. Clefairy is going to be a phenomenal Pokemon for us, baby Clefable. This thing's going to be named Arya after my daughter. Look how adorable this thing is, just like my baby girl. So Arya is here to take names. It's our second Eviolite user, but that's okay because this thing gets super, super bulky even without the Eviolite. Sometimes it can still soak up hits. With the Eviolite, like I said, it gets very, very bulky, gets access to Wish, so this can also be a cleric, gets access to Heal Bell, gets access to very strong Moonblast. Basically, it gets everything that Clefable does. It just doesn't get Unaware. It does have access to Magic Bounce, so you can't Toxic it and expect that to be the way to whittle it down. That's one phenomenal thing about this Pokemon. It's a good Stealth Rocker. Notice that I don't have any Stealth Rock options. I don't have anything to bring up hazards, so I had to bring in Clefairy as well as the next Pokemon that's going to come on the team. But Clefairy was essential to get up the hazards. I kind of went through the game plan of this being very hard hitting on the physical side with Melmetal, Haxorus, and Darmanitan, and some pretty awesome options on the other side like Raichu and some defensive options. Now we bring in Clefairy to support the team and still be able to hit like a truck depending on the different situations, but Clefairy is going to fill a bunch of roles. I'm very excited to use Clefairy. I've used it in a couple different draft leagues for Showdown, so it's going to work exactly the same. And the shiny version, it gets green tips on its ears. It's phenomenal. So Clefairy, great Pokemon for the squad. Welcome, baby girl Arya. The last mon of the team for round number 10, we have Doug Trio. We have day ones. Gonna be named day ones this season. Doug Trio is a phenomenal speed tier. I believe it's 120, and it's able for me to get rid of the fire types that really want to threaten Melmetal. If a fire type wants to come in and try to bop Melmetal, I'll just switch them out, bring in Doug Trio, maybe have a Focus Sash, take a hit, Earthquake, kill him. But this thing is basically here for ground control, literally, to get rid of the Pokemon that are threatening our team. Electric types, fire types, some rock types depending on certain matchups, but this thing is here to get rid of all those Pokemon that are going to be pesky for the squad, as well as set up hazards. It gets a good priority option and Sucker Punch. This thing can be a force. I do get to run Arena Trap with Doug Trio, so it's going to be a good time running this thing. So we have a good speed tier of as low as Melmetal up to Darmanitan, to Raichu, and now Doug Trio. So our speed tiers are looking pretty good. You can always slap a Choice Scarf on something like Serena, because Serena does have access to Queen Majesty, so you can't use any priority moves on it. But this team is looking awesome. A lot of different things that I can do with it. I'm very confident on this team. I'm very excited about it. Below, at the bottom of the screen, you guys are going to see all the coaches that are participating this season. A lot of really heavy hitters. I'm just going to go through a couple guys. We have OP Jellison. We have Silver Smasher. John Jr. We have Starfish, our good friend Star. We have Shayquaza, Diet Tight. We have ourselves OG Albina's in this league. JB Westside is in this league. Sir Jorge D Great, he's on this league. We have Brendan, aka Dark Devil 26. Seabad, who's gonna be our week one opponent. Our week one opponent. Oh boy, it's gonna be a good week one. I'm very excited for this one. I actually reached out to the man and then talked to JJ about getting him into the league. I'm very excited that he decided to take us up on our offer, and thank you so much for joining this league, my man. You guys you're just gonna well round this whole roster. This whole roster is just phenomenal. And then we have our man Mid Pokemaster, and then we have Zombie, our good friend Zombie is in this league. We have Ultra Player, boom. Ultra Player Josh is in this league, as well as Matt O'Shea. So a lot of really good players in this league. It's gonna be one hell of a ride. Strap up, guys, pull up a chair, get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be a good one. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this team. What are your favorite pieces? What are you excited for me to put in work with this season? How many kills do you think Melmetal's gonna get? A, B, C, D, all that fun jazz. Chat it up down there, guys. I read all those comments. I really do appreciate the love. Again, hit the thumbs up button if you guys did enjoy. And that's all I got, guys. I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night, and above all else, be nice. Peace.